Hey there, yogis. Craig Snyder here from Ignite Yoga and Wellness. Wanted to talk to you today about sun salutations, or Surya Namaskar. History goes back. Sun salutations probably were derived from early morning practices when people got up at the crack of dawn with their guru. All the students would have a first morning practice. And it was at a time when the sun was coming up, and it probably was the beginning of what is known as sun salutation, basic practice structure. A lot of people refer to it as a vinyasa flow, but it is in fact Surya Namaskar, sun salutations. There's a parable about Hanuman, who was a monkey god who had super strength and above average abilities. He saw the sun one day and was tricked and thought that it was a ripe mango. Reached up, grabbed the sun, popped it in his mouth, burned it, didn't like it, spit it out. Years later, the monkey was looking for someone to learn from and practice. He was counseled to reach out to Surya, or the sun, to provide that wisdom, and the sun agreed to be his teacher. And the sun salutation had Hanuman in front of the sun because the sun would never stop moving. The sun was hesitant to be a teacher because of that, because he was so busy being the sun. He decided that he would go ahead and teach Hanuman, but Hanuman would have to keep up. He didn't think that Hanuman could. Hanuman, in fact, did, got in front of his teacher and was always facing the teacher and being able to practice and work through things from there. And that's part of what you see in sun salutations, where you're opening up the front side of your body towards your teacher. So a lot of times your mat is facing the instructor in a class, and that's kind of where some of that all translates to. There's lots of really good reading about Vedic practices and the lore and history of yoga. So if you get a chance, look up Surya Namaskar or the history of sun salutations. There's some pretty interesting reads that are out there. I always encourage people to do sun salutations when they don't have a home practice of their own. Encourage people to practice at least a little bit of yoga from home on their own time. Best thing you could do for yourself in the morning is to get up and do 12 sun salutations as you get out of bed before you get on about your day. It's great for focusing the mind. It's great for building energy. It's great for shaking off that sleepiness, sleep feeling. Get your metabolism going. Lots of good things that come along with sun salutations. So sun salutation starts with Tadasana, or mountain pose, or a standing pose. And then a Hastasana, reaching Urdhva Hastasana, where you're reaching for the sun, reaching for the ceiling. I like to encourage people to add a little back bend here, really open up, and then come back to Namaste, hands at heart center. And then you go into a forward fold, Uttanasana, and then you step into a lunge, Anjaneyasana. Then you step back into a plank, Vasisthasana, then you lower down to Chaturanga, belly to the floor, chin, chest, belly, knees on the floor. Then you push back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, or downward dog, and then you go back to that lunge. Then you stand into forward fold, then you stand back up, then you reach for the ceiling, and then you come back to a namaste. So that is basically the sun salutation, and the kind of flow and some of the Sanskrit terms for that. I'll go ahead and demonstrate here. Ideally, sun salutations in the 10 range, 10 to 12 or more is ideal. Your body kind of takes a couple to get into the groove, and then be able to work through that energy building of your breath, so on. The reason a lot of people call it a vinyasa flow, it is a vinyasa flow because you're connecting your breath with the movements and the poses. There are other vinyasa flows. As long as you're just connecting breath and movement, that is a vinyasa or vinyasa flow. But the sun salutation is one, again, people commonly call that vinyasa flow. I do too a lot of times, just as a quick reference in a class. So you want to make sure that you're doing at least enough to where you feel like you've gotten things moving, got things going, got your breath really working really well. There also really isn't a right or wrong to this. Sun salutations, there are common forms. There are some more strict practices that instructors will want you to be in very strict forms. But it's my belief that you're saluting the sun, you're saluting the thing, the being, the one, the end all be all, the thing that illuminates the world and illuminates our minds and illuminates our hearts. No matter what your religious beliefs are, there are always references to the sun and the importance of the sun and light and enlightenment and illumination in that. So for what that's worth, here we go. I'm going to go through, I'll do 2, and then you can take it on from there. So standing in Tadasana, or mountain pose, just an upright standing pose, feeling nice and tall, feeling strong, feeling relaxed. Namaste, bringing hands to heart center. Inhale, reach for the sun. Give that sun a little salute. Salutation, sun. Exhale and fold. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Hands come down. You're going to step one foot back into a lunge. Slide the other foot back into plank. From there, I like to push back into downward dog. And then bring knees to the floor. And then bring chest, chin, and belly to the floor. Chest, chin, belly. Belly comes down last, and you're kind of sliding forward into a cobra. Pushing down into your hands so your shoulders come up. I like to soften the elbows to come back through knees. Push back into a downward dog. Step one foot forward. It can be the same one you stepped back, or the opposite. You're stepping into lunge, and then you're stepping forward to the front of your mat and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Coming up to stand. Reaching tall. I always add those half lifts. It helps to strengthen your spine, feel strong and long in your spine. Exhale, namaste. Back to the beginning. Inhale, reach for the suns. Exhale and fold. Fairly relaxed on that first fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Hands come down. I'm going to step back with a lunge with the other foot. I like to do alternates. Step a leg back. Plank. From here you can go into downward dog, or you can stay in plank. Knees come down. Chin, chest, and belly come down to the floor. You're bending your elbows. Chin comes down, chest comes down, hips stay pretty high, and then you let the belly fall. So kind of slide forward, pushing into cobra. Exhale, push back to downward dog, and move one foot forward. Lunge, step forward, fold, half lift, exhale, fold, inhale on the ups, exhale on the downs, inhale back up to stand, reaching for the sun, and then ending with hands at heart center, and namaste. If you can do that every day, once a day, you can do that in the morning when you wake up. It's a really great start to your day. It's a good, easy home practice. You don't have to remember a lot of things. It's repetitive and it goes through. A great way to kick off the day. Hope you enjoy. Look forward to seeing you sometime soon at Ignite. Have a nice